Your avoidant ex wasn't in love with you. They were in lust with you. There's a big difference between lust and love. Lust is dopamine-fueled infatuation. That's what gives you all those feel-goods early in a relationship. It's really just infatuation. It's what makes you feel those butterflies. Ooh, that spark. But love, however, that's a choice. It's much deeper. Love means taking down your walls, truly letting somebody in, seeing them for who they are, and choosing them for who they are. Love takes work, it takes effort, and it takes a daily choice of choosing that person and giving yourself to them. The avoidant, well, they have their walls up. They have deep insecurities. They're emotionally unavailable. If you're dealing with a severe dismissive avoidant, this is a person that was on the receiving end of consistent childhood emotional neglect. They weren't given love and nurturing in the way that they needed. Their feelings were routinely dismissed. Vulnerability, closeness, emotions, none of those were safe for them as a child. This is a person that grew up with a wound of shame because of that neglect, growing up to feel defective and unlovable. So they learned to rely heavily on external validation to feel better about themselves, getting that attention from others. Early in the relationship, dopamine is flying high in the mind of the avoidant. They're feeling good, and all those insecurities are currently being masked and numbed by that dopamine. So they are riding that cloud nine. And they're letting all these bottled up emotions flow out onto you because they've been suppressed, and dopamine is really making them feel good, and they think they finally got it right this time. But those walls are still up internally because of their insecurities. They put these walls around their heart because of that wound of shame and defectiveness. See, their fear that lies in the subconscious is, if I lower my walls and I let my partner in, my partner's gonna figure out that I'm defective. They're gonna figure out that I'm not lovable, and they're gonna reject me. So emotional closeness doesn't feel safe. Emotional distance feels safe to them. So even while that dopamine is really making them feel great, those internal walls are there, and they're never really letting you in, which means they're not allowing that deep love to form. Now, because of that consistent childhood emotional neglect, they really weren't exposed to oxytocin much as a child. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It's how human beings bond to each other. We are naturally bonding creatures. We bond to a partner, we bond to a pet, we bond to a child, a family member, a friend. But the avoidant has a limited bonding capacity, a limited oxytocin capacity, because they weren't really exposed to it. Yes, they can learn to grow that capacity as an adult, but unless they're doing that deep inner work, that capacity is very limited. So they're not really bonding to you. So when the dopamine levels come down, when the honeymoon phase ends, which is usually between 4 to 8 months, give or take, all that's left for the avoidant are their insecurities. The oxytocin isn't there, the bond isn't there, the deep love isn't there. It was infatuation, it was lust, and now it's gone. That's why they can abruptly leave a relationship, because they weren't bonded to you. That deep love wasn't there. It was just lust and infatuation. It may have been deeper for you because you bonded to them. You let that oxytocin bond in your brain. So you were actually bonded to this person, and you were developing or even had that deep love. But their walls didn't allow them. No, it doesn't mean that you weren't good enough. It has no reflection of your self-worth. They're not able to truly bond with anybody. So it's not because of you. And severe avoidants often really do confuse lust with love. They think that being in love is this feeling of, ooh, infatuation, it feels wonderful. But that's not really what love is. That's just infatuation. That's just dopamine. Love is that daily choice. It's the work. It's the commitment. It's the effort that you put in and choose that person every single day. Choosing to accept them as they are, getting to truly know them, and getting those walls internally down so they can know you as well. Love is a choice. Infatuation is a feeling.